What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. We are down here to talk about Married to Medicine. You know, I keep forgetting that Married to Medicine comes on. Like, I'm aware that it comes on, but I keep forgetting that it comes on Sunday. And the other night, I recorded the Atlanta review the same night. Look at the moon, how beautiful it is. It's so full and beautiful. And so don't let me forget my tea, okay? Because I have my tea and I'll forget it and then it'll sit up here and get cold. So let's talk about, there we go. Let's talk about marriage. What is it called? I was gonna say Love and Marriage Huntsville. I watched Funky Dinero interview Melody, and Martell kept called like 3 times in a row. Melody was like, yeah, he gonna call back to back. I was like, ooh. That's one thing about people who, you know, demonstrate narcissistic behavior. Like I know, you know what? I really want to change the way that we frame, the way that we use that word, because it's really a real personality disorder that's incurable. And we do know that a lot of men fall into that as they are socialized to manipulate people in order to get what they want. So they kind of fall into those kind of patterns very, very early. However, you know, everybody isn't able to diagnose. Everybody here doesn't have a license or has been to school or whatever. So I know that a lot of us already have a bit of narcissism in us, right? A little bit. But then those people who display an exaggerated trait of someone who would be narcissist, because you don't know if that person is a narcissist or not. And I think we have to be very careful in what we talk about, because a lot of people just assume like, oh, you know, the person's an asshole, so they must be a narcissist. No, if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, you will know. And it's not a flippant type of personality that you're dealing with. It's not flippant, not somebody who's just an asshole, is disagreeable, who talks over you. That's not a narcissist. Like, it's not. It's deeper. And when you watch like Derek Jackson and them, Derek Jackson, you could tell, because it's just a false sense of self. He's just not in reality, and he wants you to fall in line with whatever he creates as reality. And so now you're dealing with the reality, and he's dealing with this false sense of reality. And now has you thinking like, okay, am I crazy? Am I not seeing what I'm seeing? What's happening? So I feel like a part of them gets angry when they're unable to be the center of attention, when they're unable to feed off of the false sense of reality that they've created around them. They get angry. And I have a feeling that Derek Jackson gets very angry with the people around him, and so does Martell. I have a feeling Martell has a short temper. I feel like that. When he's not able to feed off of you, he gets upset. I have that feeling. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Calling back to back, that's very aggressive. That's very aggressive. That's very, I don't respect boundaries, right? If I don't answer the first time, why are you calling back another time? If it's an emergency and I'm not answering the phone, text me and say, hey, please call me right now. It's an emergency. That's why I'm trying to call you, right? Isn't that what someone in a rational mind would do? That's what I would do in a rational mind. But when you're in an irrational mind, in the throes of this personality disorder, you become a different person. But still charming. It's really crazy. Let's talk about, I was about to call it Love and Marriage Huntsville again. Let's talk about Married to Medicine. Overall, I thought it was a good episode. I really like Married to Medicine. I like the way that it's produced. They show they start off. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by. They start off. This is just a classic chai tea by Tazo. I don't know. Tazo, I would assume that it's Tazo. Tazo is a little bit, it's not relaxing as Tazo sounds. So I'm thinking it's Tazo. But it's chai tea, and I have creamer in it and a tiny bit of honey. And it's so good. Anyways, okay, so they're shopping for college with Simone and her son. Is his name Michael? He's so cute. I love how they're just showing all the little pictures of him as he's growing up, and he looks the same. And he really don't even look like neither. No, you know what? He kind of got a mouth like his mom. He got like his mouth is like his mom. But so he's doing his grocery shopping, college shopping. They look like they're in a Bed Bath and Beyond type place, and they getting linens and stuff like that. And they talk about having a field day at Heavenly's house. She invites Heavenly to the field day, and it's at her house because we know that Heavenly has property. Do you understand me? That lady has, when I tell you that lady has land, that lady has land. Toya, I don't know who you think you be talking to when you talking to Heavenly of all people. And I really think y'all, let me tell y'all something. The way that Toya be acting with Heavenly, when Heavenly takes the razor blade out the side of her mouth and chops that girl's off at the knees and the ankles and the hips and the waist and the shoulders and the elbows and the neck, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Nothing. She's not no bully. You just as aggressive as she is. Anila is just as aggressive. If Anila's mother is aggressive like that, Anila is just as aggressive can be just as aggressive as her mother. So Heavenly is not bullying anybody. That lady can speak up for herself. She's not this, Heavenly saying something to me. Girl, stop. But Toya, you got that mouth, and I'm tired of people saying that Heavenly is a bully. Toya, you come with it too. Toya participates. Nothing is happening to Toya. Nothing is happening to Anila. You participate. Both of y'all are participating. If she wanted to disengage and Heavenly was still on her ass, then I would say, bitch, you doing too much. If she don't want to talk and she's walking away and Heavenly is like, girl, I want to talk to you. I'm trying to force this conversation. She did it with the BLM thing, but we'll get down there because she wanted to let her have it. Because I understand, because a lot of people of African descent, American descendants of slaves, however you want to categorize yourself this decade. The fact of the matter is, when you group people up as people of color, yes, it's, first of all, it's very divisive when you include everybody and people of color, because what you're saying is it's white people and everybody else. That's what you're saying. So if you're people of color, then what are you? A person of no color? What are you? So when you say we're all people of color, yes, but have you had an experience of a slave, an enslaved person? Have you had the experience of a descendant of an enslaved person? Have you had that experience in America? Have you? So it's a different experience. While you do experience being called a sand nigga, everybody from the desert area over there near Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, India, all over there, yes. When you come to America, I'm sure they called you sand niggas. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because your skin is dark and you from the desert. We get it, okay? They call us niggas. Yes. Y'all don't have the same experience. And it's not just the experience of trauma. It's not just the experience of slavery. It's also just the experience of the culture. It's not the same. Your Indian culture is different than a Black American or African American or whatever. Girl, I don't know what to call y'all this decade. I don't know what to call y'all. So they going to Heavenly's house. Heavenly got a big ass house. They doing that. They don't know. Michael said he wants to invite Curtis and Dr. Jackie. They gotta come. They talked about how Jackie was the first hands on him. Jackie gotta come. He was like, it's mandatory. Jackie didn't come, but Curtis showed up, for, I guess, for the family, because he's seen him. They seen him grow up. I mean, she damn gay. I mean, she delivered the baby, right? So we're looking at Anila's new house with her mom and dad, and they're going around the house, and her mother is being overly critical about everything, and it's making Anila uncomfortable. It's making her husband uncomfortable. She is highly critical and overbearing. It's like the worst combination to have in a person, especially if, one, you don't depend on them for survival and they running around telling you what they don't like about every single thing that you show them. She didn't like nothing, and that shit is annoying as hell. But her mom is just giving her 2 cents. She said the father actually comes from wealth. Baby, when they showed her, she said her grandmother used to have her outfits matching the damn decor in the house, baby. They show pictures of the grandparents' house. They got money, okay? And it's ironic that her dad comes from wealth and came to America to get an education and went back and still maintains their culture and their tradition and their customs, and have not assimilated to being American, or have assimilated to an American culture. It's just what parents do. Well, Mom, why are you always giving your opinion? I'm an opinion girl. I'm going to say what I want to say. But this is our house. This is not your house. Well, you asked me, I'm just going to tell you. That's what she says. And then her dad, Anila's dad, was like, come on, let me talk to you for a second. So he comes on the outside and he was like, girl, what's up? First of all, I need you to calm down. And she's like, I'm tired of always saying things and being overly critical. I know, does anybody have a mother who is overbearing and overly critical? Yeah. It's the worst. It is the fucking worst. It's the worst when you walk in a room and your mother is there and she looks you up and down to check out to see if you are presenting yourself right. Yeah, it's the worst. And then come over and tell you to fix something about what you got going on. It's the worst. And she said, in our culture, we don't put old people in rest homes. In our culture, we don't do that. We don't do that either. We don't do that in our culture either. We don't want nobody taking care, mistreating our loved ones in some kind of convalescent or hospice situation. No. We don't do it either. So the dad said, listen, if I go first, you know where she coming. So, but that's the thing. It's like all of these parents with these overbearing, hypercritical personalities, and it's like, it's tiring and it's draining, and nobody really wants to be around that. And it's true. So we're going to see how that works out. And her husband is over it. He's like, and he says stuff, and I'm here for it. Back at Jackie's office, she's seen a patient who put herself into early labor because she was getting familiar with her self-child and put herself in early labor. She was sitting there talking about how strong the vagina is. She said the vagina is Jesus. It is. Didn't the vagina give birth to Jesus by herself with nobody's help? Oh, okay. I thought that's how the story goes, right? Didn't nobody touch her, and Jesus just came from the vagina? Okay. Even needed a vagina to get here? Okay. Anyways, at Toya's house, the boys are gone, so she wakes up Eugene. He's trying to rest, probably having worked 12 hours or 15 hours or some crazy shit like that. And Toya wants to take a bath in the middle of the day. I think it is so cute. I'm sorry. I think even though Toya gets on my fucking nerves, I think it was so cute for her to be like pushing him and trying to wake him up. And she was like, come on, let's take a bath. The boys are gone. And he was like, okay, come on. So they get their big asses in the tub and they just sitting there, and he's talking about how it looked like he was drinking water. So maybe he has to work later. But he was telling her how she's been snappy and how he don't want to be that husband whose wife just breaks him and he just be sitting there looking stupid, right? So Eugene is very much aware of people saying that Toya is allowing him to work himself like a dog, and while she does nothing. Not that she does not do anything, but Toya is literally a housewife, and it's not to say that that's not a job. Nobody's saying that. And like she told Heavenly later in the episode, you the type of person that wants to do what I do. But that's the wrong person to direct that to. You have to direct that to another woman who doesn't have the ambitions of a business owner, the ambitions of a landowner, the ambitions of a property owner, the ambitions of a doctor. You have to say that to someone like a Mariah, like a Quad, like a Lisa Nicole, right? I think Lisa Nicole probably got more ambition than Toya, but I digress. Shout out to the Brooke Ashley. I digress. Okay. So he said he doesn't want a wife to break him. She was like, you have a temperature? What's wrong with you? He was like, well, I just think we need to take a softer approach to how we diffuse situations. It needs to be a little softer. So I think it's a fair conversation what he's having. He says, we need to work on working as a team, because with all this stuff going on with COVID and she's focused on family, I'm focused on work right now, our objectives on how we operate as a team are drifting, is what he said. So I agree. I mean, I agree with what he's saying. We haven't seen an example of them drifting, their objective as a family drifting, but it's better to be proactive than reactive, right? Catch it right when you notice it, talk about it so we can work on correcting it. So shout out to Eugene for that. That's how someone in a leadership role is supposed to do. You see a problem, you address it, and you work on resolving it. So shout out to Eugene for that. Toya agreed with him. She was playing with his nipples, with her toes. It was so cute to me. That was cute to me. That's intimacy, right? Intimacy is not always placing a penis in a vagina. Sometimes it has nothing to do with sex at all. That was cute to me. I was here for it. Anyways, Dr. Heavenly and her son Zachary, who is a cutie pie. I was like, look at Zachary looking just like Heavenly. They look like a cut out. If he put a wig on, he would look just like Heavenly. But he's cute. He's 21 years old. He's pre-med. Baby, he got his real estate license in 19. They looking for a house. It was supposed to be about $150,000 so they can flip it. But he saw another house by some water. She was like, we didn't talk about buying houses by the water. What are you talking about? The house is $450,000. She was like, that's not what we talking about. What are you talking about? So I love that Damon and Heavenly's ambitiousness, it trickled over to one of their children. We don't know what the other one. She always be like, I don't know what the other one is. Quite frankly, I think the other one is gay. I'm just gonna say it. Maybe he's not, but I feel like he is. And he's doing his own thing. Allura was there. We see Allura later, who looks just like Heavenly. Heavenly got some strong genes, because them kids don't look like Damon at all. They look just like Heavenly. And her son is really he looked like he just had a nice disposition. He just looks like a nice guy. It was cute. He was cute. So she talked about the Black Lives Matter thing with her son, and how Anila was telling them that we're people of color and we have the same experience. And he was like, no, you don't even have to have a conversation with her. Show her the numbers. Show her the statistics. Show her the statistics. And the numbers don't lie, so that's what she would have to go by, right? And he was like, so, let her see that. So we're going to see that later. She didn't show her no statistics. They started to get into it. But I thought it was real cute. She was like, here, go put me some Coke and put a little crown in my cup for your mother. I thought it was so cute. I love it. I love it. Zachary is really cute. He is a really nice looking dude. And the analogy that Dr. Heavenly gave in terms of, Black Lives Matter, she says, when you go to the dentist and something's wrong with your tooth, we focus on the tooth. Yeah, the other teeth are there and they need to be taken care of, but there's this one tooth that needs attention. And quite frankly, you almost ignore the other teeth until you fix the problem with the one tooth. And then if that one tooth gets together, then everybody in the mouth can live harmoniously. So Contessa and Anila meet up. She calls her and she tells her she wants to meet up and have a conversation. So she says, it went a little awry the other night and I just want to meet with you and have, and have a talk. And so she goes, just me and you, right? She's like, yeah, just you and I. So let's meet. So they meet at Piedmont. I think she said Piedmont Park. So they meet at Piedmont Park. Yeah, they do. And she was like, basically that fight was like the Indians and the Pakistani people fighting. That's how that fight was. So she gives us an analogy that she relates to. Maybe people don't know about the relationship between Indian and Pakistan. Okay, but yeah, if you know, you know. So she said at the Rocky celebration, she felt a little disrespected. She says in our culture, in our tradition, in our culture, you don't get up and leave the table. It's very disrespectful to do that. And so she said, okay, but it was just too much, and you were putting yourself in the middle. And you're not putting yourself in the middle because you don't even know me. So what you're doing is really advocating for Toya. And you don't know our relationship. So while you're sitting here telling me that there's a softer side to Toya, I've seen different sides to Toya that hasn't been demonstrated for you yet. And word on the street is, Anila and Toya have already fell out. And there's pictures of Contessa, Anila, Jackie, Heavenly, and Quad somewhere. Toya, you could be friends with Lisa Nicole. Be friends with her, okay? She was like, well, you threatened my mom a little bit. She was like, no, I was telling your mother to not grab me. And she says, well, it's just in our culture. She says, well, in our black culture, you keep your hands to yourself. Okay? Somebody needs to let Anila know. I said, I know that's right. Well, it's our culture. We got culture too. And part of our culture is keep your goddamn hands to yourself. Don't touch me. Okay? Thank you. And she apologized for offending the mom. And she gave her a sincere apology. Baby, we at Heavenly's house. Baby, when I tell you that lady got property. The first time I saw Heavenly's house and property is, I think somebody was at her house. Somebody was driving up to her house. I think it was Funky Dineva driving up to her house, and he called from the gate. When I tell you Heavenly got acres, baby, acres. And then they showed the aerial view of her house and her land, baby. Simone gets there. She told Simone, I told you about wearing them shorts. I'm not trying to see your ass. Anyways, so all the boys get there. Everybody got something to say about Heavenly's land, okay? And I know LaToya was pressed. I know she was. So Alora comes down, and she said, don't be looking at my daughter, honey. We just barely started getting along. We ain't trying to be in-laws, okay? Alora is cute too. She looks just like Heavenly. The boys was looking, they were looking. So she's going to be the cheerleader and take score. So Anila shows up. Kieran isn't an athletic person. So he said he took how many ibuprofens? 5 or 6. So he could make sure that he can play. He's not really an athletic person. Tennis is about what he can do. Hon, he got this. This is his brain is his athlete. Okay. Cecil shows up. Toya brings this woman, and I agree with Heavenly. First of all, it's a pandemic. Number 1. Number 2, I don't know this lady. Number 3, you're bringing this woman into my home and on my property. I don't know this lady. I felt the same way as Heavenly. I can understand what Heavenly meant. She said that she brought her because her little boy, it's her birthday, so they brought him for the field day too. So they're passing out jerseys, and they got these black shirts and things like that. And I don't know what Heavenly said or what Simone said to Heavenly, but she was like, I work past 2 p.m. in the afternoon, because we know Heavenly has her own schedule, right? She has a schedule where I think she gets off of work early, and then she doesn't work on Thursdays and Fridays, or some crazy schedule that Heavenly has, and she's able. That's what happens when you own your own business. You can make your schedule. I'm a dentist. This is my practice. These are the days that I'm open. And let me tell you something. Dental bills are higher than medical bills. Let's stop. I really want to stop playing when it comes to dentistry and how people be acting like dentists ain't real doctors and stuff like that. If your mouth is fucked up, I'll tell you, it will fuck up the rest of your health. It really will. It really will. Your mouth is the gateway to your health. If your teeth are jacked up, it can affect the rest of your health. Trust me, ask a dentist. Ask your dentist, okay? And they make a lot of... Have you ever seen a dental bill? Go look at your explanation of benefits after you go to the dentist and see what the charges would have been if you didn't have insurance, bitch. It's not cheap. Okay? And if she take all kind of insurance, trust and believe, Heavenly is getting paid. Hey. I don't know if she take this, what insurance does she take? I'm gonna look up Heavenly Smiles and see what insurance do they take. So Simone was like, yeah, I work after 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Right, Damon? And she gave Damon a little elbow bump. And she was like, don't be doing that to her. Don't be doing that. He was like, all right. That, like, those little moments are really, really cute. Anyways, Toya comes in complaining. What? Heavenly can't afford forks anymore? Girl, isn't your house on the market? Still on the market? And you trying to say that you got $1 million in equity already on that house and it's sitting there? Contessa said on Watch What Happens Live, that house is still sitting there. You need to stop complaining. The thing is, what Toya does is she sets herself up for somebody to drag her. It's an easy read. It's easy to drag Toya. So she's in there complaining she can't afford forks anymore. Girl. Okay. So Anila and Toya are having a conversation, and she says, I met up with Contessa. She was like, "What you do that for?" She's another Portia. I wouldn't be surprised if Portia and Toya were friends. I wouldn't be surprised if they were friends. I think y'all said that Toya's friends with Kenya. I don't know. I don't see that, but anyway. She was like, why is she talking about me? Why is she talking about... She was like, she wasn't talking about you. We were just talking about the situation. See, you trying to make it into something else. And Contessa is another one that can drag your ass. They had Contessa and Heavenly on Watch What Happens Live. I didn't see all the clips. I just saw the clip when they were trying to say something nice about Toya. And they were like saying something nice about Toya's house. And Contessa was like, the one that's still on the market? Oh, okay. So Contessa shows up and she tells Scott that she's ignoring Toya today. I'm just ignoring her. That's what we're doing, okay? Everybody's like, how big is your property? So Toya is the coach. That look funny. The adults are tired as fuck. They tired and through. They was cheating at the game and stuff like that. Heavenly's changing the score and this and that. It was cute. So what happened after that? I think that's it. Oh, no. I have a lot. So Heavenly tells Anila, when they were done playing basketball, everybody's leaving. The kids left. The husbands are going in the house to eat or whatever. And the kids go with Anila's husband. I can't remember his name right now. What is his name? I can't remember his name. I'm not about to look it up. And she was like, Heavenly, he taking the kids? She was like, yeah. She was like, but you the wife. Why don't you take the kids? He's the doctor and he takes care of the kids. Girl, you got to do something. He can't take care of the kids and be the doctor. And then she goes, you work? She was like, yeah, I work. She was like, I blog. She was like, oh, that's a job. Heavenly, stop playing because you have your ass. You blog too, child. Stop playing. And then she turned to Toya and said, why don't you blog? In other words, why don't you get your ass a job? Toya is not interesting enough. Sorry. Those who love Toya, I used to love Toya too. I thought she was cute and she was funny at the beginning. I love the fact that she liked to party, but she's a little pretentious for me. I don't like, she tries to be pretentious, and I believe that she's a rich black woman. I'm not going to take that away from her, but I feel like she wants to live a lifestyle of that she lives in Beverly Hills. Like, unfortunately and fortunately, if you would take what you have in Atlanta and move it to California, you would not be able to live like that. It's a whole nother bracket of wealth that you have to have in California. You cannot take an Atlanta or a Georgia, that area, and think like real estate and property and land and da 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 da, and think that you about to get that in California. Absolutely not. Not for what you paying down there at all. So anyways, Toya, she just doesn't have the personality for me. Her personality is not, I don't like her personality. I could say that. I don't like her personality. Stop hating on people, Heavenly. People like you want to do what I do. You got you a 3-story closet. You got you a fireplace in the backyard. So you believe that she added a story to her already 2-story closet that was in the house 10 years before you built yours, and you think she's trying to be like you because she added another story? Now, we know Heavenly don't have fashions. Toya, you don't have fashions quiet as kept. The fashions that you do be wearing look like you chose that without the help of a stylist. She needs to have Heavenly sign an NDA so she doesn't take property enhancement ideas from her. She's stupid. As soon as you got approved, honey, you be talking shit. You talking shit. That is not your money, child. This and that. That's the one thing. Like, that's the one thing that they could actually say. They can come at her like that. But I know it's like, oh, they're married. Her money, his money. Da 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 da. Girl, okay. She was like, well, I don't know what's going on about you and your house, and let's talk about how you really got that house. Let's talk about it. We could talk to Quad. And she told me how you got her house. Quad, what does Quad know about my house? She don't know nothing about my house. Toya, what are you talking about? Sounds like your receipts are faulty, Heavenly. Sounds like they faulty. Honey, I'm sitting over here. I got on a workout outfit and it cost $350. That's the problem now. That's the problem now. When I cannot stand, that's how you know a person's relationship with wealth, or not even wealth, with just some money, is new, because they tell you how much they clothes cost. They tell you how much this and this cost. If your clothes was about anything, when you walked up, Bravo would have put a cha-ching and put Toya's outfit cost $350. It's nobody cares. That's whatever, girl. You go to Lululemon and get a $350 yoga outfit, jacket, everything, and pay $350. That's nothing, Toya. And you saying it like it's something. Like, that's why they think you're ignorant, because you have this weird relationship with money, and no one respects it. None of these women, especially Contessa. Are we throwing a party for paying our bills? What the shit we supposed to be doing? We throwing a party for that? Yeah, that's why Contessa don't fuck with you. Because y'all relationship with ambition and the relationship you have with money is totally different than Heavenly and Contessa's. And and that's just what it is. That's just what it is, and that's how it's going to be. Anyways, so Contessa, she gets up and she walks away. She's in the house with the man, having small talk with them, because she doesn't want to get into it, because once again, they talking about things. If Contessa jumps in, it's going to be ugly. So she walks away. Contessa didn't back you up. She not here. She was like, girl, what are you talking about? Heavenly don't need nobody. You the one that needs somebody. Because if you didn't need anybody, you wouldn't have invited Anila and told Anila to try out for the show. Yeah. So they start talking about Black Lives Matter. And she was like, no, I want to talk about the Black Lives Matter thing. So I don't even want to talk about it, but I already talked about it at the beginning. Anyway, so Toya is telling Heavenly to pick on somebody her own size and that she's a bully. Then it starts thundering or whatever. She says, I've been called the sand N-word. I've been called this. I've been called that. But it's not the same experience. And I think Black people, African American, American descendants of slaves, Negroids, Negro American, Afro American, whatever we calling ourselves this decade. Shit. Whatever we calling ourselves this decade, because I want to make sure I include everybody. The fact of the matter is, the experience is different, Anila. And you trying to have some equanimity in this experience, it's just not true. It's untrue. And you can't continue to do that. And it's almost disrespectful. Just because you are brown, we understand that you experience racism and experience xenophobia probably because of your skin tone and where you're from, and we understand that, but it's not the same as the experience of people who were enslaved and their descendants in America. It's just not the same. Toya says with this, in this time of COVID, she don't have time for fake friends. I don't know how you gonna, that's the thing. I wish we had more people to get along. I'm tired of having so many people have conflict where the actual, it's like 6 or 7 women on a show and it's really divided, like 3 people here, 3 people there. It's just exhausting. So everything, they start trying to clean up, and she was like, honey, get Toya and them to come back and clean. I got somebody to do that. And then Heavenly hollers, bitch, come back and clean. They started getting into it. And then I thought it was funny. That's how you know what rich black people talking about let's talk about portfolios. Come on, let's talk about it. Your portfolio ain't shit, honey. Let's talk about it. Bet you Heavenly wipe her ass with your portfolio. Shit, honey. Her and Damon, baby. When there is this story, I think it's on Heavenly's channel, and it's about her and Damon, really more about Damon and his accomplishments. I think it's called, I don't know what it's called, something about a man, I don't know, but when they were talking about all of their business ventures and all of his board certifications and all of his going into whatever kind of practice he goes into, and he becomes, let me tell you, when you board certified, she said he practices in 3, I guess, areas of medicine, and he's board certified in all 3. That Damon is at the top of his game. That's one thing I can say. When she be like Team Daddy, I'm like Team Daddy. I hope we never find out that Damon ain't shit, because I would be really disappointed. I would, and you know, you can't, and he's a big nigga, so you can't trust him as far as you can throw him. But I really hope we don't ever be on the other side of Damon mistreating Heavenly by being emotionally abusive, by cheating on her. I hope that never happens. I hope we never see the receipts, baby girl. Anyways, y'all, I gotta go. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Peace.